Yo, it's ODB from OLP. This is issue 140 of Mini Truckin Magazine, all the way back in good old August 2003. This is Ryan Westcott's 91 Mazda B2600i Cab Plus, titled Maximum Risk. This one always stood out to me because of the window tint with the kind of the tribal graphic. It's the 9th Severtized truck to be featured on the cover of Mini Truckin Magazine. It's Wes Allison's 42nd credited Mini Truckin Magazine cover. The beautiful Kobe Taylor graces the cover. This is the third 2600i to be on the cover, so the two others were issue 105, the green Cab Plus with the graphics kind of from the bottom up, and then of course issue 108, the MIC Cab Plus that went overseas. Those are, along with this one, those are the only 2600i's technically. Again, I know that's really slicing and dicing things. Now at the end, I'll talk about how many trucks so far had KMC, how many cover trucks had KMC Wheels, so stick with me, it helps out the channel. You can see here, again, August 2003. Now, this is, I don't think this is the first issue to do this. I think we saw one just a couple issues ago. Might have been 138. But you see here, typically there's a little banner across the top to kind of break up. And there's a, I don't want to call it a subtitle because it's kind of above it, but there's, you know, usually that line that runs across the top, and they'll have some sort of lead in, if you will. You can see this issue here does not have that. So it does, if you hone in on that, it looks a little bit different because of all of the white there. Of course, you got the Mini Truckin logo, August 2003, Kobe Taylor, looking awesome. And with the white background, Wes really killed it with this one. What I want to do is I want to jump right in. This is a damn good issue. If you like what we're doing here, check out OLP via any podcast app. Of course, you can see there, check out Ryan Westcott's Bad as Hell Tangelo Pearl 91 B2600i. The cool thing about this is that Tangelo Pearl was a super popular color. I still dig it. I don't think many guys have used it lately. Now that I say that, I'm sure people will chime in, and don't forget about this one and that one, but it's an awesome color. Here's Jason Danler's Toyota, so we'll talk about that a little bit. And you can see there the J. La Rosa S10 Sport Truck Specialties, which was also on the previous, I think the last couple. So Lance here, it's not who you know, it's how much time you spent getting to know that person. And he talks about a rumor mill type situation there. You pretty much have your normal auto lock as well as your breakdown of what's in or who's working at the magazine at this time. Max Springs. Fun fact, Max Springs, I think technically was where I got my first valves, hanging out with my old buddies. We went down there back when electric valves were starting to become popular, and we bought some, and that was there was a place in Tampa, 3/8 valves, and the rest was history. Here is David Hughes 89 Mazda Standard Cab. You can see Brian Frost wrote it. So again, SoCal Customs fame. Brian's a great dude. And then Lance Martz. This thing's super clean. Dig the wheels, the grill. Those got to be probably pretty hard to find these days. But it's kind of cool. This is 20 years ago, and they're talking about old school cool. So that term old school has obviously been used a while. And this does have, believe it or not, even kind of early to mid 2000s. It does have an old school feel to it. You can see all the tweed there looking dope. I enjoy looking back at these, as I've said, because it kind of gives me ideas, especially running new school or having a 90 Mazda Cab Plus here. What I wanted to look at there is just kind of hone in. And you see it does have hydro, so that's what I wanted to showcase there. And you can see here, definitely not compressors. A lot going on there with the hydro setup. Again, I appreciate you guys for sticking with me to the end. It does help the channel. Everything is looked at in terms of, you know, the algorithm, and when people watch these videos through further, even if you've got to run away for a little bit and you want to just let it play, that definitely helps out. This S10 has been around for so long. A guy that I knew for a while, Ross, I think was his name, in Georgia. He owned that truck. I think that truck, the first truck show that my son went to, I have a photo of him in front of that truck, and I don't know why that from time to time pops in my head. There's the S10 from Georgia. You can see here, still not all color, so they've got a snap-on tech article, MT, tech, Mini Truckin Tech. Again, you guys have chimed in recently with intel. Hey, that was my buddy's truck on such and such page, or I knew this guy, that truck's no longer in existence. Any of that info, this is the group effort. I certainly love Mini Truckin, as you guys know. That's why I go through this stuff, but I certainly appreciate any intel, especially like if you have behind the scenes photos from any photo shoots. I'm going to continue to put together this database, and any information I can get to help build it is awesome. This is Jake Bussman's 02 Tacoma pre-runner double cab. So again, being that this is August 03, people were still building fairly new trucks in this era. And I say still, it's, I kind of meant people were doing it, taking fairly new trucks. And this was a cool photo shoot by Lance, and you can see the bridge in the background. He was from Virginia, so, wherever this was shot, pretty cool background. I really dig it. Cool truck, too. Love these Tacoma double cabs. And it's always intriguing to me what the crew cabs / extended cabs are called for each OEM, because, each of them have their own spin, and we should do some trivia with Mike sometime and ask him, he still calls Mazdas extended cabs. I go, Mike, you're really asking for a fight with the Mazda fiends like me. Maximum risk. So again, Ryan Westcott's 91 Mazda B2600i Cab Plus. Say that 10 times fast. You could see, and did I mess that up? Mary Sharpton. And I don't know why I said Kobe Taylor. So let's jump back here to see what I did real time. Yeah, it doesn't say. Yeah, so I don't know where I was going with that. So you can see real-time corrections being made. But this, you can see here, is Mary Sharpton. So my apologies, especially if she watches this. She's going to be screaming, going, hey, that's the wrong name. But rest assured, we know one thing's for sure. Definitely hot. And looking hot in front of the Tangelo Mazda Cab Plus. So even though I own a Mazda, which I don't talk a lot about, it's an undercover project. Some people I know, shout out to Eddie Gordy, the big homie, sent me some parts. He knows I'm coming after Mike. Thank you so much, Eddie rather. And Eddie and other guys have, pointed out to me there are some differences, and I think this is one of the bigger ones, right? So keep me honest, guys. The 2600i's, they had the bubble hood. So, I'm learning. I mean, even though I've been around mini trucks a long time, knowing one OEM inside and out is one thing. Knowing them all is another thing. So I'm still learning on the Mazdas. Even the differences in the beds, I think, between the extended cab, aka Cab Plus, and the regular cabs, the length of the bed and things like that. So it's cool. I talk to Jeff at Mini Garage all the time. He's my go-to guy. So if you guys need parts for a Mazda, hit up Jeff at Mini Garage. But again, Ryan Westcott's, and was a little thrown off there. According to this, of course, we know Wes shot it, but Mary Sharpton. So I don't know where I pulled Kobe Taylor from. Who knows? But this truck is awesome. You can see the art department did some cool stuff. So you got the front 3/4 shot here, but you also kind of have, it kind of blends in. You got the rear shot of the bed. So kind of a different overlay there, and then where she's standing, and then maximum risk, and then boom, they put it down here as well. So it's kind of cool. They also put the Severed logo back in here. So pretty cool stuff. 9th Severed ties truck on the cover. You can see, boom, it's not over yet. This thing is a super awesome truck. Now, trucks like this, that were featured 20 years ago, does anybody know where the truck's at? I don't know. There is, of course, the Facebook group, Mini Truckin, one word, where are they now? Which is a great group. And I sometimes just ask because I'm curious if anybody that's watching this at the moment happens to know. But, some of these trucks, I'm sure they were still around. Maybe they've been repainted. Maybe they're sitting in the garage. Who really knows? But certainly a super clean engine bay. I always dug how if, some guys would paint the upper, I call it the upper firewall. Some guys would, leave it black. I always liked this look where everything from that weld or that pinch all the way around down was black. And then everything above it, including the inside the fenders, obviously you see the orange there. But just looks good. Of course, then you go the control arms, all painted, all that stuff. Looks good. Looks damn good. This is the cool mod. I always like that one with the gas filler in the bed of the truck. I know some guys have done some different things. I saw a Cab Plus at Lone Star this year. That was sick. The guy had a little deal. He pushed a button in the cab and boom, it popped similar, the fuel filler in the bed. So cool stuff. Awesome truck. Ryan Westcott's 91 Mazda. Here we have Charlie Hutchinson Jr. So you can see the art department did something kind of cool. Obviously Slammed I Am, which was a cool title, and baked in the graphics, so to speak, to the artwork. So I always thought that was awesome. Lance shot it. Wes Cade wrote it. And this was a truck that, was deserving of a credit. I mean, look at all the work. Look at all of the detail, inside of the bed. You go to truck shows even today and you see trucks that aren't fully done this far. Now, granted, you do see a bunch that are, but, a truck like this, inside of the bed, engine bays detailed, nice graphics, billet wheels. It helped mix things up because not every truck in here could be body dropped because you want to have different styles, right, for your readers. All right, so here is Simple Green. This is Jason Dandler's 97 Toyota Tacoma. Now, he's a local guy here, St. Pete area, and he's in negative camber. What I do want to show is I want to flip up here real quick, remind you that we are your Mini Truckin headquarters. But there is a photo from Truckspo, and that was a photo I took 20 some odd years ago, actually almost 23 years ago. And I posted this one. Jason Dandler doesn't post a lot on Instagram, but we tag him. You can look him up. This truck also, I remember at a local show, I posted a photo before it even had a topper. And Dandler was like, man, I don't even remember that when it was black and bagged. But certainly an awesome truck. Now, Ed Eister, shout out to Ed. He has also shared a behind-the-scenes photo when everyone was waiting to kind of go up on, I think this was a little hill. This was after Blood Drag, which I believe was 03. This was there a couple of years. I think even going back to maybe 02, but 03 I think is when it was shot. Now, the other thing is, this drove me crazy. Now, I can understand when someone left the magazine, they maybe didn't want to print their name. But if I remember correctly, and Ed can chime in, I think Travis, I remember him being at Blood Drag, but I remember Travis, I believe, shot a bunch of trucks. And I think he mentioned Travis was lining these up. So why not just put Travis's name there? I don't know. It just drove me crazy. But this truck, super sick. Don't know whatever happened to it. Dandler may have told me one point and I forgot, but you could see there the green. I love, those painted plastics and the kind of the cluster area with the white face gauges. A little bit of billet, of course, on the doors, on the inside. Tweed for days. I posted a photo of this one time, and it just was like an ultimate throwback because things were a little bit more simpler and just a super sick truck. This wasn't his first rodeo. He, of course, had, pun intended, didn't have a rodeo. He had an Isuzu Pup that was shot at Sport Truck Nationals up in Kentucky. And that actually landed on a multi-cover sport truck issue, which, again, I've tagged him in the past. But super sick truck. And Dragon AZZ Customs back in the day. These guys were kind of linking up. Dandler, of course, has long worked at a place or helped manage. I don't know his exact role, but he's long been in the truck accessory business, and we talk about toppers a lot, and these toppers are obviously highly camper shells, if you will. They're highly sought after, so pretty cool stuff there. Here's El Switcheroo Part 3, so again, doing some dash swaps in terms of parts, and you can see black, you can see color, black and white in color. Here's the underground experience, which this was in Vegas, I believe. Yeah. And you can see here a Sinner's Paradise, Brian Frost and Brian and Charity Frost. So they shot it, kind of co-shot this one from SoCal Customs. Again, his name starts to get brung up a little bit more in the magazine. There's the Frontier, still around, I believe, right? And the big homie, he's been on before. OLP, worked at MIC. You can see the MIC sticker there on the Cab Plus window. Super sick. You got Texas Heatwave color ad on the left, which is a little ironic because they ran the color ad, but this is a black and white page. Both pages are. So it is what it is. Here we can see Oliver, and I mentioned the other day, Drew Brothers Customs, how ironic that was that I saw that banner, and then it was right around the time they had announced the one guy's retiring. These trucks, again, are another truck that I really dig. The corners shaved, so it looks awesome. And then check that out. Feels like an old school truck by today's standards, the older Tacoma front end. Awesome stuff. Here you have Richard Hopkins on the left, and then Josh Showenwald, S10 and Tacoma. This was Outcast Customs. Here you have a couple of photos. We can see Maximum Risk there. This might have been the Severed show. So you got the yellow Severed truck that was on the cover with the bubble in the hood, the wagon, the Dime, Maximum Risk, and then the orange S10. I got a chance to see that at Rezo for the Severed 10th. Excuse me, 20th. 10th. Man, it's been a hell of a day. Get the model name wrong. Getting the dates wrong here, ODB. What are you doing? I'm drinking way too many liquid deaths. I'm boozing on the water, guys. Okay. Forbidden Fantasy number 6, and they use the number sign. It's funny. Ask a young person what that is. We know it as a pound sign. They know it as a hashtag, which is just insane to me. And you can see some of the coverage here. Shout out to Forbidden Fantasy, the club. But they've been doing this thing a long time. And you can see Desert Runner here. You can see the Tacoma that was on the cover. Joe's Yoda. That's now owned by Lucky up in Canada. Who he got it from was Fester, right? Here is an international ad, which was key, again, Lance growing the publication internationally. You can see there's another photo, color, Oliver's. And Oliver's Tacoma, of course, would go on to be yellow, and it would go on to be shot for the cover, and it would win Mini Truck of the Year in 2012. This truck here, love this thing. I posted a couple photos over the course of time, but I mentioned also, I think I have a photo when it got, he drug it and whatever happened, aired it out and roll pan ripped. And you can see there it says what sucks on the temp paper plate. If you like what we're doing here, leave a comment, even if it's just an emoji thumbs up. I definitely appreciate it. Trying to get these done. I think I saw this one. Is this the one from Indy Truck Bash up in the Midwest area? You can see a Ranger here, looks like. Crew Cab Minis worldwide on the rise with the Yoda. We're going to keep on keeping on going through all these issues. And again, we'll close it out. Issue 140, August 2003, about 20 years ago. Ryan Westcott's, and had to correct the model's name. So my apologies, everyone. Can't thank you guys enough. Subscribe if you haven't already. Share this with the homies at the chicas, the homegirls. Send a link and say, yo, your Mini Truckin headquarters needs you to subscribe. Check them out. We're dropping the knowledge. That's what it's all about. Let's share this info with the world. Stay on the rise, y'all. We out here. Peace.